It's learning lessons. Yep.
We will call this meeting to order, regular city council meeting, City of Dalhart, Monday, March 13th, 2023. First item on the agenda is the prayer. Thank you. Would you lead us in prayer, please?
Let us pray. Our Father God, as we come before you this evening, Lord, first we praise you and we thank you, Lord, for the freedoms that we have, for the opportunities that we have to serve our individual cities, and counties and states, Lord, and we just praise you wonderfully for those freedoms and know, Lord, that we need to humble ourselves before you, seeking your face, seeking your will, your wisdom, your knowledge that you bestow upon us as a blessing, and we praise you and thank you for that. Now let us pray, Lord, that we utilize that to the best benefit of everybody concerned, not just ourselves or a certain few, but for everyone. And Lord, we praise and thank you for a great sacrifice that you made upon that cross and the shedding of your blood to cover our sins so that we might stand righteous before you on judgment day. For it's in your precious holy name we pray.
Amen. Please stand with me as we recite the pledge to the United States of Texas.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to the text of one state, under God, in one indivisible.
First item on the agenda is a consent agenda consisting of minutes from the February 27th, 2023 regular city council meeting, February financial reports, February bills and committees and boards appointments.
I make the motion to accept consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number one, public comments. Item number two, presentation of years of service certificates to Louis Labra, Travis Bigger, Jacob Winkler, and Stacy Ford.
Stacy, you want to come on up?
Thank you. On up there.
I go.
Center state.
Center stage.
Stacy's been in the city for 27 years, so this is in recognition for her service to our city. Stacy, thank you. Thank you.
Got it.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you. Oh.
Louis? Louis? What department? Come on up here, Louis. Louis has been with the city for 2 years, so this is in recognition for his service to the city. Thank you, Louis. Jacob. Jacob's been with the city 7 years, so in recognition to your service, Jacob, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then Travis isn't here, but he's been here for 2
Okay. Travis has been with us for 2 years. He can't be here tonight. Item number 3, discuss and or act upon the request Dalhart Rotary for community development funds for the July 4th fireworks display.
How are y'all, council?
Good.
Good. So my name is Alfonso Venegas. I'm here with the Dalhart Rotary Club, and I have with me Rotarian Mark Hanbury. We're here to answer any questions that y'all might have on that application that we submitted.
So just to give you a little history, the Chamber of Commerce has been the sponsoring agency for the fireworks show that we've done for the past over 25 years. With the changes in things here, we lost that ability, so I went to the Rotary Club. And Alfonso blackmailed me into joining the Rotary Club so that I could do this. So anyway, they have been very gracious to be our sponsoring agency to request the funds from the Community Development Fund for us to put on the fireworks show. And the $10,000 that we're requesting from the Community Development Fund all goes to fireworks. All the help that we use to put on the fireworks is all volunteers. So every bit of that money comes from Western Enterprises in Carrier, Oklahoma, who we purchase our fireworks from. You all should need to know also that they provide a $10 million liability policy that covers not only my family and friends that put this on out there on the dangerous side of the lake, but also any fires, accidents, if anything else that happens out at the lake area, and covers the Rotary Club for being our sponsoring agency as well. And while we're here, we've always done this at the Rio Blanco Lake area out there. So if you've seen where the fireworks go off, that's happened since when I was a kid. That's where the volunteer fire department shuts them off. So it's a great facility and a place for that and meets all the legal requirements from a distance standpoint. So while I'm here in front of the city council, I would like to request the use of the Rio Blanco Lake area to do the fireworks show on the 4th of July as well.
We have to put that on a further agenda.
Agenda item. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get that added on there, Wendy.
And I'll be glad to answer any questions about 4th of July fireworks and consideration.
I think you guys have always done a great job. It's a great show for sure.
Tommy, did you want to talk a little bit about what your PD plans to do that afternoon?
Hey, Mario, we're gonna get together. PD is trying to do a community event to tie in with the fireworks show. And I don't remember, I think I might have touched on this before. We're gonna have a cookout for the public. That's gonna be sponsored by the police department, and the fire department. So that way we can get the public out there, then get a full belly and then sit back and watch Mr. Hamberry's fireworks. So that's something we got in the works going on right now.
This is coming out of community development funds, is that correct?
That's our request.
Okay. Any questions or concerns?
Qualify.
Yes.
Make the motion to allot them $10,000 for the fireworks.
Okay.
All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Item number 4, discuss and or act upon fiscal year 2022 racial profiling report by the Dalhart Police Department.
This is not interesting by no means, but it is required and it is educational. So I got our report submitted to TCOL. Mandates all our licensing, make sure we're up to standards as far as the state's concerned. And for the year of 22, we had 1,613 stops in the city. 810 of those were on the city streets, 762 of those were on the highway. So that could be the state or the US highway running through town here. 33 of those, one of those on county road, 33 state highway, and 7 private property or other. Was the race or ethnicity known prior to the stop? 15 of those stops, the race or ethnicity was not known, and in 1,598 of those stops, the race or ethnicity was known. Out of the race and ethnicity, 15 of those qualified under Alaska or Native American, 29 were Asian or Pacific Islander, 72 were Black, 569 were white, and 928 were Hispanic or Latino. Out of the genders, 513 were female, and 1,100 were male. We can break those down into the races. On the females, 7 were Asian or Pacific Islander, 29 Black, 324 Hispanic, 153 Hispanic or Latino. 324 white. Out of the males, 15 were Alaska Native or American Indian, 22 were Asian or Pacific Islander, 43 were Black, 606 were white, and 414 were Hispanic or Latino. Out of the reason for the stops, violation of the law was 44 of those. Out of those 44, 22 were white and 22 were Hispanic or Latino origin. Pre-existing knowledge, that would be like me seeing somebody I know for a fact doesn't have a driver's license, something like that. So I had 7 of those stops, 5 of those being white and 2 being Hispanic. Moving traffic violations, which is what everybody's most familiar with, 1,093 of those stops. 13 Alaska or American Indian, 23 Asian or Pacific Islander, 53 Black, 626 white, and 378 Hispanic or Latino. Vehicle traffic violations, those are 469. Out of that, 2 were Alaska or American Indian, 6 Asian Pacific Islander, 19 Black, 276 white, 166 Hispanic Latino. 43 searches were conducted. Out of those searches, 5 of those were Black, 29 were white, and 9 were Hispanic. 1,570 stops resulted in no search. And the reason for the searches, consent searches, obtaining permission from the driver, the owner of the vehicle. 3 of those searches were white and 2 Hispanic. Contraband found, out of those stops, 2 times contraband was found. One of those was on a white individual, or one was on Hispanic or Latino. Probable cause, we had 18 stops with probable cause searches. 4 of those were on Black individuals, 10 were on white, and 4 were on Hispanic or Latino. Inventories of the vehicles, we had 8 of those, 1 being on Black, 5 white, and 2 Hispanic. Traffic stops that led to an arrest, we had 10 of those, with 10 of those individuals all being white. Contraband discovered, we had 19. 1 Black, 13 white, 5 Hispanic. And 24 of those stops, the contraband out of the searches, contraband was not discovered. And see, findings resulting in arrest, we had 2 for 11 arrests, and let's see, 1. I don't know why that's out to the side there. There we go. Out of the stops, we had 0 arrests notated on those. Arrest based on violation of the penal code, which would not have been we're stopped for a traffic violation. We weren't arrested for that, and they're arrested for something else found. We had 12 of those arrests. 8 of those were white, 4 Hispanic or Latino. 1 arrest was for a violation of traffic law, and that one individual qualified under the white race. No arrest under violation of city ordinances. 2 arrests were resulting in arrest for outstanding warrants, and those were for white individuals. Drugs located, we had 12 times drugs were located. 9 of those times were white, 3 Hispanic. Alcohol, 2 times white and 1 Hispanic located during the search. And then other was 6 times, 1 Black, 4 white, 1 Latino. Results of stops resulting in a verbal warning, we had 0. Written warnings, we had 895. 7 of those were for Alaska Native American Indian, 19 for Asian Pacific Islander, 48 Black, 5,540 for white, and 281 for Hispanic or Latino. Citations, we had 8. You have a question? Yes, sir, go ahead.
5,540 is the incorrect number.
Should be 540.
Yeah, it should be. Now, this is when I input all my numbers into the state, this is the result they give me back, so I should have double checked that, so. Thank you for catching it. That is a big number. Thank you for pointing that out for me. One too many 5s there. Out of citations, 703 citations, 8 of those were Alaskan or Native American, 10 Asian Pacific Islander, 24 Black, 379 white, and 282 are Hispanic or Latino. Written warnings and arrest, we had 6, 4 white and 2 Hispanic or Latino. Citation issued and an arrest, we had 9, 7 white, 2 Hispanic or Latino. And so cover the penal code violation of traffic law, we had 1, and there was a white individual. And outstanding warrants we covered. Physical force used resulting in bodily injury during a stop, we had 0 of those. And 0 would be 1,613 of those stops where we had physical force that did not result in bodily injury. That doesn't exclude physical force used, it just force that didn't result in any bodily injury for any person. Number of complaints of racial profiling, we had 0. It's the most important to me. And then we used the department submitted analysis to TCOL, and these are the results they gave me back. So I looked back over previous stops prior to me coming to the department, just trying to encompass the past few years. So in 2019, we had 3,393 total stops. And then in 2020, that dropped to 1,242. And in 2021, that went back up to 2,196. And then for 2022, it dropped back down to 1,613. Just to give you all an idea of where it's been the past few years. Any questions on that? Long and boring. Did you repeat that? My apologies.
Okay, thank you.
Item number 5, discuss and or act upon summer hours for city office staff.
So one thing that we wanted council to look at was proposed office hours for city office staff. I know some other staffs in years past, they do they manipulate their hours because of the heat and all of that for the summer. And that office staff hasn't had an opportunity to do that. So staff looked at it and to do a 40-hour week, Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 5:30, and then Friday, 8 to 12. We're just seeing trends all over, people going to 4-day work weeks, all of that picking up. So for the summer, this allows us to be open earlier. So if some people get here before they have to work to pay a bill, and then we're open a little bit later. So then again, if they want to come after work, especially those of us who are here for meetings in the evenings, seen quite a few trying to get in around that 5 to 5:30 timeframe to pay a bill and do something. So I think not only does this provide to staff, but also allows you to see for a pilot program, if manipulating those hours moving forward benefit the customer.
And what do the customers do afternoon on Friday?
So they would have to use the kiosk.
And if there's a problem, water.
Same on call. So anything, people, you just do the on-call number and we'll have people on, because this isn't noon for the water guys themselves. So we would make sure that the same on-call process is kept going.
Are you thinking of implementing this when school lets out? And then
From Memorial Day to Labor Day.
we're still getting 40 hours.
You're still getting 40 hours.
Does office staff seem to be receptive?
Very much so. It's a perk, in terms of making us competitive in the workplace and what we offer. I mean, we'll never compete in salaries and benefits with private companies, but to be able to offer some of those perks in the summertime is something that allows you to be competitive. And you can view it as a pilot program. So at the end of the day, gave it a shot and it allows us to see what works and what doesn't work.
What is the activity normally on Friday afternoon?
Sarah, not to put you on the spot, but do you have an idea?
It would really just depend on the time of the month it was, whether it was cut off or due date. Usually we're pretty, lunch hours probably our busy time. And then we're busy all day on the 20th. So I guess if, the 20th fell on a Friday, then that would be the only time it would maybe cause, more people would just have to pay through the kiosk and what it would be, because it'd be mostly just payments. As far as leaks and issues like that, that's just hit and miss. Really, that usually depends on weather. As far as making payments, they would still have the option of the kiosk and then to phone in or pay online. Really wouldn't mess up too much of the payment process.
I know, Justin, when I was a sheriff, we changed our precinct building up here to something similar to this. And the reason for it is for customer service, quote unquote. Because when you open at 8 o'clock, and you close at 5 o'clock, there are a lot of people that are already at work, but they don't get off work until after. It really was a convenient thing. So it took people a little while to get used to it.
Mhm.
If the cutoffs did fall in on like a Tuesday, it would actually probably help you more so because we'd be open until 9:30. We always have people who will see show up as we're leaving. We're wanting to come pay their bill and we don't know if they were on the cutoff list or not. But fortunately, we're already closed. So.
Okay. I could see how that would be convenient for somebody that works in 8 to 5. Take care of their business prior to or after. Any other discussion or concern?
Say we. Just to see how it goes and get the feedback from people in town. If there's a lot of negativity on it. We
can always-
better or move back to what we did.
We can always switch gears.
Entertain a motion to consider the new pilot hours for
I'll make that motion.
office staff.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 6, discuss and or act upon recommendations of playground equipment by the Parks Committee.
So. The first one is what we. Seeing.
Are you looking at the blue one?
7th Street,
For 7th Street.
for 7th Street.
This one.
Blue green, yes. So. That is what the Parks Committee suggested for some equipment on the 7th Street part. I don't know if anybody's been by there, but the current piece of equipment there is a little torn up and not in great shape, so we need to do that, and this isn't that good, and that's,
This will replace the one that's sitting there, the plastic.
Correct.
yes.
The one-
Nothing to do with the swing sets or anything like.
Right, the one that Wendy broke when she was a kid.
that. But go with-
clarify it. So,
And I think the biggest reasons I think that we like that this is more substantial. And it's, the other options that are cut close. They just seem, they seem a little weak.
And is this one ADA compliant as well?
Yes,
Yeah.
it offers ADA features, it does. On the little bottom piece over here, you've got a little tic-tac-toe thing. And so you've got some components for people who have some mobility issues.
And it's in the budget.
Yes.
Been budgeted.
it's been budgeted.
Some of the others to choose from, they had covers on them, which I am slowly finding out that the wind in Dalhart is something to be reckoned with. So maybe covers are great.
Concrete don't be in the ground.
That would last.
So, and then, like Ginger said, this is pretty substantial for what you get for the price. And actually comes in a little bit under budget. We had 50 budgeted, so
Is that install price too?
yes.
Good.
And then there's also another one.
Full park. Don't know. Yeah, I got it. We picked out, we changed some stuff since our committee meeting, right? But Gilbert came in and found this one. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but they've taken some equipment out of that park at the swimming pool park. And really nothing ever replaced. So that's kind of the reason we were looking at that.
So this would be the area
where-
that it would go in.
Yeah.
And then that's
it. Okay.
and this one has ADA features. Has some drums and a little flower that is musical that you can bang on.
That was what we were recommending as a committee. And that's budgeted also.
And both, there's a slight chance we will get both by mid-June.
Wow.
So.
I think the committee's put quite a bit of time and work into this. I'd like to entertain a motion to go with the committee recommendation for the playground equipment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 7, presentation on Texas Treasure Business Award Program.
The mayor and members of the council. I'm proud to announce that the city of Dalhart will be nominating several local businesses to the Texas Treasure Business Award, awarded by the Texas Historical Commission. The Treasure Business Award recognizes independent for-profit businesses with over 50 years of service. The honor is intended to attract awareness for the business and the important role they've played in the community for over half a century. As of now, we have 6 local businesses that have expressed interest in applying for the honor. If awarded, these businesses would be recognized with a designated historic decal that identifies the business as a historic institution. The business would also become a part of the Texas Historical Commission network and would receive access to resources and partners that are reserved for historic businesses. The city intends for this award to be a chance for our valued businesses to gain statewide exposure as a historic designation and to keep local businesses thriving in our community. Finally, the city of Dalhart believes this is an opportunity to help raise the profile of our community as a designation for heritage tourism. And I will be accepting nominations from businesses or people in the community until April 1st.
Can you share with us what businesses have you got nominated so far?
So the 6 that have agreed already are Furniture Fashions, DB&E, KXIT Radio, Dalhart Abstract, and there's one other who I'm blanking on right now.
That's pretty good though.
Mission Auto, thank you. Yes, Mission Auto is the 6. So those are the ones who have already agreed. And then we have 2 or 3 others who we're in contact with about also nominating.
Good deal.
And it's a bit of a process, just so you know, because you have to go through the history of the business. They have to provide some documentation backing up that they've been in business as long as they say they've had and they qualify. So there's a lot of backup work that Bryce has to do for the award. Any other questions?
Thank you, Bryce.
Yep.
Item number 8, discussion of trash containment at the landfill.
I think last time we had met, we were talking about the transfer station and then some conversations came up about trash containment at the landfill. So Curtis is kind enough to share his Monday evening to talk about some of the processes they've got at the landfill.
Let me take the opportunity to say thank you for being able to bring my presentation before you this afternoon. That paper you have right there is the litter law pickup for the month of February. And right now we're struggling with the wind. This is the windiest part of the year. Question is, when is the wind not blowing? So you will see the days that we picked up paper inside the landfill, outside the landfill. We are responsible for a 2-mile radius on the highways each way leaving the landfill and on the dirt road, Mackey roads. And we pick up paper every chance we get. Sometimes when the winds is blowing 30, 40 mile an hour, picking up paper, you're not going to be able to do it. As well as on cold, rainy days, snow days. So picking up paper is almost daily, weekly, monthly. And you will see on some of the days on the 24th, that's when a lot of times I have both departments, all the sanitation and all of the street department at the landfill picking up paper. They were out there on the 24th, but unfortunately the 26th, we got that 75 mile an hour wind. Okay. At the landfill, we have 3, you must have a Class A license in municipal solid waste. This is our rules and regulation Bible that we go by. There's a lot of rules and regulations in there. This is our site operating plan. It is this condensed into the absolutes that you must do. And these have to be at the landfill at all times. The 3 people that has Class A solid waste license, municipal solid waste license is myself, Robert Snyder, he's also the sanitation foreman. Dennis Rojas, he's the public works director right now. He has a license also. I'd like to introduce Amanda Miller. She's our dozer operator, scraper operator, skill house attendant. I try to train everybody to do everything. Richard Romero at the back. He has landfill experience, dozer operator, scraper, skill house attendant, and both of them to paper picker uppers. Okay. We have 2 employees, new employees, Amanda Miller and Norma Estrada. They are getting ready within the next month or 2 to take a waste screening class. And they can do that via Zoom. And those classes will be $550 each. Our main problem, soil at the landfill is, I like to say, at a -0 in moisture. Y'all can pass this around and play with it a little bit. That's what we're covering with. We are required at the end of the day for 6 inches of cover. And you have something like that that doesn't have any moisture in it, play almost very quickly. And we're working on some ideas. We have a water truck. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. We can take in 20 tons of trash a day. We also have a yearly tonnage that we cannot go past. So we're always calculating how much we have taken in for the year. About November, well, how we do that, we take our yearly tonnage, and then we divide it by 365 days. And that'll let us know what our tonnage is for the year. As of Friday, this past Friday, our tonnage was 1,500 pounds for the year. So we're still in very good shape. When we get close to our yearly tonnage, which is around November, we have to start hauling our loads to Amarillo because they are a bigger landfill. And we used to run the trash trucks, but we were fortunate to get a semi that transport to haul trash. So that transport now can haul about 2.5 trash truck loads. And that freed up us running our trash trucks back and forth to Amarillo. Because the trash truck running back and forth to Amarillo, that was a 3-hour round trip. I had to have every truck running. I had to start guys early in the morning, 5, 6 o'clock. Some have to work late to get everything done. Let's see. This year, I plan on starting a little early as the tonnage numbers for the year start rising up. Like maybe once a month or twice a month, go ahead and run a load to Amarillo. This past year, we have been faced with some challenges. But I got a good feeling this new budget year is going to show some significant progress in helping us to maintain trash more efficiently. One of the things, challenges that we face this past year, we've had 2 senior guys that have retired. We're talking about 25 years. We're talking about 50 years of experience that the city has lost. Now we have 3 new employees at the landfill that does not have 25 years experience, but they are very, very good. Amanda she's learned to run the dozer quicker than anybody I've ever seen. She learned how to run the scraper quicker than anybody I've ever seen. One other lady, Norma Estrada, she's not here this evening. She also is a dozer operator, scraper operator, and a gate attendant. So they are very good at what they do. That's how you learn, by seat time. And they are improving daily as I speak. We currently in the sanitation department have 4 employees that are now taking CDL classes. That's one thing that the city sanitation department and street department have struggled with, CDLs. It costs quite a bit to get your CDL. I remember when I first got mine, it was $60. But now it's a lot harder because they want to make sure you know everything about the truck. There's people that have had wrecks in trucks, it's sad to say, they pay under the table, get their CDL, and they're going down the highway and they have a simple flat and they don't know how to control the vehicle. So hopefully these 4 people will graduate from the class and the city will be in better shape. Because right now, I know on one of those dates you see where we're still short-handed 1 at the landfill. With our new employees, we have a lot of older employees. Everybody on the street department knows how to work at the landfill. A lot of times that's what I have to do. I have to move my people around that best satisfy what the city needs for that day. And we are about to start making improvements to our water truck. I'd like to see one day we get a 5 horsepower motor put on it, because we need, right now it just has a bar at the back. You hit the lever and water trickles out the back. I need a motor on that truck so we can spray water out. Now, even though we have real dry conditions, once we cover with 6 inches of dirt, we will go back and spray that whole area and get it saturated so it will stay packed. I don't know if y'all seen birds at the landfill. I don't know if they blackbirds or ravens. I don't know what you call them, but their claws is about as big as my hand. I have seen birds uncover their trash, that kind of dirt right there, just like that. So if we get moisture in there and pack it tighter, we won't have the wind uncovering the trash. That's our main enemy right now, wind. So we got to work hard and fight to keep moisture in the landfill. And one other thing that's going to make a difference, by 90%, when the the transfer station, when it is completed, on windy days, we will dump inside the transfer station. If the wind is blowing for 3 days, well, 3 days, we're going to be dumping inside the transfer station. When the wind stops blowing, we will load the transfer truck and unload it into the pit. We lose the most trash as soon as the back end of that trash truck comes open and the wind is blowing, so 10, 15 mile an hour, you're going to lose paper. I try to monitor it and I stay in contact with Robert when it starts getting up to 25 to 30 mile an hour. I shut the trucks down. After I shut the trucks down, trash starts building up in town. So that transfer station is going to be very important when it's done. Any questions?
Great presentation, Curtis.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You.
I want to keep my dirt and play with it.
I have a feeling you're gonna take this show on the road. So, cover, but don't want to, right?
Item number 9, discuss and or act upon adopting resolution 2023-08. The resolution suspending for 45 days the effective date for a rate increase proposed by Atmos Energy, West Texas Gas, West Texas.
Suspending the rate, that's the longest we can do it.
So we need to act upon it.
Yes.
I make the motion, we adopt resolution 2023-08.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 10, discuss and or act upon adopting resolution 2023-09. Resolution suspending for 45 days the effective date for a rate increase proposed by West Texas Gas Company.
Same. I make the motion, we adopt resolutions 2023-09.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 11, discuss and or act upon adopting resolution 2023-10. Resolution authorizing the submission of a Texas Community Development Block Grant application.
All right, so I think there's two, and I don't know which one they are.
There's two, yeah.
So I don't know which one this one is. So basically the two of them, one of them has to do with putting in improving water lines down Kendrick Street. So, we put this in, they came and talked to you earlier and they gave us some guidelines and then they did some preliminary work. And then they told us where we would best use the money to get the most out of it. And so they want to come in and going down Kendrick Street, there's a 2-inch water line. And they're going to replace that with a 6-inch water line. So we went out and we did a survey door to door one evening, knocked on it. We got a 90% response. And we found that 80% of those people were, low income. So that fit our grant really well. And so basically this is what they're going to do. They'll come in there, they'll go down that street, bringing in a 6-inch line. And it'll go starts on Norman, they'll go half a block down Norman, then it goes down the alley for 2 blocks to Kendrick, and then it'll go from Kendrick down Kendrick to 5th Street. Okay, is that the one we're looking at?
That's the one you're looking at.
Okay. So any questions or anything that I can answer?
If we decide to move forward and it's approved, when will they get started?
It's this process once it gets approved and so forth. They're saying that once it's approved, it'll move fairly quickly.
Is that something that'll be done in-house or
Contract.
contract work?
It's contract work. And this is why we looked at it. They sent us 3 options. And so when we sit down, looked at like which one would do the most work for the money. And this one actually got us,
going down that alley, it's serving, 20 houses down the alley and then all the way down to Fifth Street. The rest of them are only 5 blocks. So we actually gained 2 extra blocks this way.
Are all the water lines in that neighborhood 2-inch? Is this something, is this,
All of that water, the one we're looking is 2-inch. If you go Norman Street already had 6-inch other than that one block, which I didn't quite understand why there was one block without. And then the street on one side of the which one on this side of Kendrick? This side of Kendrick only had a 6-inch water line. So probably says that it had a 6-inch water line. Now, moving on from Fifth Street to the highway, that's still a 2-inch. And that was one of our options. We could have gone from the highway to Fifth Street. But if you look at it, it's mostly businesses and stuff. There's not many residentials. So for the use of our money, we decided to go the other way. It seemed like it hit more houses that way than just, instead of just going a few blocks, we're able to get more houses.
Is there a match for the city on this grant?
I believe there is, but it's pretty small, I think.
That's 5 or 550.
sounds like a good deal.
I think so.
I'll make the motion adopting resolutions 2023-10 or 10.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 12, discuss and or act upon adopting resolution 2023-11. A resolution authorizing the city of Dalhart representatives in matters pertaining to the city's participation in the Texas Community Development Block Grant Program.
Okay, so this is the one which I think y'all were aware of before they came and talked to you. Looking at improving sidewalks down Main Street. Again, they came in, we talked about them. And I think he talked to y'all about what we should look at. So they came and reviewed all of Main Street. I believe it was here he talked about that we could go down so many blocks on one side or both sides. So when they reviewed, they went through and they looked at what part of the streets were the worst. And that's the one they came back with us, is this would be give us the most improvements. And it's doing both sides. And I don't have in front of me, is it second to third or third to fourth? Is it second to third? Maybe it tells us. So they will do both sides of the street, make it ADA accessible, cleaning up all the sidewalks.
Question. Do these sidewalks have integrity to the buildings? As we were told before that there's basements underneath, and if these sidewalks were replaced or moved, or it would cause damage to the buildings?
I think that particular spot was on 4th Street that they were talking about.
Okay.
Over there.
So that's one I've never heard or seen that. I know when they came and they looked at it. I know they had to address, there's a couple of those places that the water meter is in the sidewalk, so they have to work around that. One of them had a drain, a street drain they have to work with. But I didn't hear anything about affecting the integrity of the building or there's a basement.
Okay, and when they redo these sidewalks, that will not affect even that these buildings that are existing now, when they come in as the age of the buildings?
It should not affect it. I don't think so. I mean, this whole thing is just to clean the sidewalks up and make the sidewalks and it's basically a curb and a sidewalk. And then on the ends, it'll be handicapped accessible. And I believe one of the plans they sent us, there was one of the places I think had a handicap spot in the middle of the block. Is that where the dentist office is?
That is not a handicap spot. It's a little, I'd like to see it be handicapped.
But I think one of their plans showed a spot.
Loading.
But I think they built a spot there in the middle so that there was a handicap accessible. So it wasn't just curb, it was a ramp in the middle of the block.
Yeah.
Not a handicap spot anywhere.
It's accessible from each end of handicap.
Right, each end will be, and on both sides of the road and there, so it'll be ADA accessible from the edges, so you can get up and down those sidewalks better than what's there.
But I'm familiar with this particular program in a different city where they did 4 sides of the square there downtown. Some of those buildings did have basements. Now, Dalhart could be unique in the sense that we may have to take some extra steps to protect integrity, but that city did not have any issues.
Okay, so
Yeah, so it's from my understanding, the engineers have come and reviewed this. They've been on site.
have gone down into the basements of what buildings are there to make sure that it has.
I don't know if I cannot say, I can't answer that. I don't know if they did or didn't. I just know that when they looked at it, this is where they said this would do the most. Would be the best place to spend their money because it would be the most within our budget restraints.
Okay.
We'd get the most done. Now, they didn't tell me anything about basements. I didn't know if there was any there. But I don't know, did they just walk up and down side? I don't know if they talked to the business owners to see if they were there or not.
May I ask a question? Who is they?
The engineers, which were, I don't remember who we chose.
This one. It wasn't High Plains, was it?
No, it's not High Plains.
It was the same one we're using for the emergency thing.
Park Hill, there you go. That's it.
It again this year.
Yes.
Yes.
On the and it relates to the previous item, who was we? In the previous item about the grant on the water line,
Oh, who came and looked at them then?
who's the we on that?
Who and that was, that's High Plains.
Thank you.
So when we've talked to them, so basically, High Plains are the ones that contacted us. We've talked to them and they're the ones that come, they're supposed to have surveyed, looked at the maps and surveyed everything to look at it. And then they sent us back 3 choices. And then, we sit down.
I didn't mean to regress back to that.
Right, I understand. But then it was the same thing here. They sent us choices and then they let us choose and they're like, well, we want and they told us they prioritized this will give you the most for your money. And then went down from there. So of course, we're going to try to choose the most for the money.
Can you repeat that, the coverage area, just so I know that I'm clear?
For the water line,
No, for the sidewalks,
I believe it's 2nd to 3rd Street on both sides of the street.
a third on both sides. Okay.
And I don't know, did they give you the plan?
No, this is just.
Just the resolution? Okay.
Does this make the city of Dalhart liable for any damages caused to buildings when this is being done? Or is it go back to, I'm just trying to protect the buildings that are here is what I'm asking.
I couldn't answer that, but I would sit there and say that I would hopefully that if we're going to hire an engineering company, that we have damage clauses put in it and we have some type of bond set aside that if they do damage, they're able to cover that. That would be more in our contractual part.
Yes.
Stacy might be able to answer that, but it's like I haven't anything to do with that.
The contractor would be liable. So the one doing the work.
Okay.
It's not the one holding the contract. It's the one doing the work. And like I said, I've had experience in one city in particular, but other cities, this grant in particular is what is used to redo their sidewalks.
Okay.
Because of the expense of redoing a sidewalk, it took one city in particular 4 different times to get the entire square done.
So this is something we can apply for again annually?
Yes. You can apply often.
Great.
So with that question, is that also something, not just talking about our downtown, but some of our other areas that may need like?
You have to meet the specifics. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
not just
Okay.
this block over here. So it's got to meet certain specifications,
Mhm.
which is why almost all cities use this for downtown.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
would
the,
think.
the criteria list is like a page. We had to check off every one of them.
It kind of really focuses on that area.
Okay.
And we even talked about some of the, leaving downtown area, some of the side streets, not on the main, but on the side ones that are in bad shape. We talked to them about them and they're like, if we put them in the grant, your chances of getting the grant drop dramatically.
Yeah. There's a lot of restrictions with this. So
Well, it cost us $85,000 or more to just do 4th Street sidewalk a couple years ago. Am I correct?
On the west side,
On the west side,
not on the east side. The east
and
side
it was
is-
still just put a drainage and fix the street. That was a lot of money just for half a block.
yeah.
Because it was deteriorated so bad it had to be taken care of.
Right.
But it was,
And we told these things when because it's, some of it's going to be curbs, some of it's sidewalk to do it. And they said, and they have to maintain, we said they have to maintain our street. our brick street. So but right now, the engineers are putting it together. They will put the plan and then I don't know. I couldn't tell you if the engineers hire contractors or if we hire contractors.
Forbid.
Well, where's the matching money come from? Budget item?
So that would have to be looked at in terms of if we actually got,
You got it?
if you got it. If the city gets it, so then we would have to look at, a funding source for it could be your EDC as a mechanism to fund it if they wanted to, or council could, go into reserves if they wanted to.
That is not, it's not a item.
It's not currently, no.
Worked in long term or anything like.
No, but also to take into account when this would go out for bid. So if it didn't go out for bid to construction until 23, 24, we're in that time frame to plan for that. So, yeah, so the chances of it going out to construction prior to 23, 24 are very slim. So there is an opportunity to look at where the funding sources would be from.
So we need to notate that in the budget review for.
Yes,
Free.
yes,
You'll take care of that.
I will take care of that.
I think we ought to move ahead with it.
I make a motion that we adopt resolution 2023-11.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, Joe. Item number 13, appoint an election judge for the general election to be held on May 6, 2023.
You've met these people before.
Okay, so this year we'd like to appoint Cindy Lidster again as our election judge for the May 7th election. She did our election last year.
I'll make that motion.
Did you speak to her?
I did, and she did it. Selena's not gonna be here. Her son's graduating from college.
And I'm worried about Cindy being in town.
Yeah, she said she would be here.
I'll second it.
Motion by Ian,
Yeah, sorry, I jumped the gun.
second by Brian. All in favor? Any opposed? Item number 14, set pay rate for election judge and clerks for the May 6, 2023 general election.
Last year, we had the election judge set at $25 an hour. That's what we've done the previous 2 years that I've been here. And the pay for the clerks was set at $13.50 an hour. She has the option to have 2 clerks, but we may not need those because I do have people here within the city that have volunteered to help on election day, which they would just get comp time. So
Do you want them to approve the rate in case you?
Yeah, so
someone,
if something happens that Cindy has to hire somebody, we'd like to go ahead and approve the $13.50 an hour for her clerks and then keep the pay for her at $25 an hour like it has been.
Make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 15, appoint early voting ballot board judge for May 6, 2023 general election.
And this one would also be Cindy Lidster. She'd be the judge that would go in with me in the morning and count all the early voting ballots.
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 16, designate early voting clerk and deputy early voting clerk for the May 7th, 2023 general election.
Okay, so the early voting clerk, that would be myself. And then in the time that I would be either at lunch or busy with a customer, Annabelle Acuna and Valerie Trujillo have volunteered to step in to help do those. Voluntold.
Back here smiling going.
But yeah, right.
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 17, discussion of future agenda items for city council.
the one that I have is the use of the lake area for the fireworks.
Yes.
Item number 18, comments from city manager and department heads.
I just want to know how he keeps that shirt so white.
Probably has a bit.
Stains exceed.
Starch. Just have a few items. Our chili supper went really good, went really busy. We ran out of food like at 7:30, 7:15, and we got hit right at 5 o'clock. I mean, we had hundreds of people there. So it went real good. It was good to see everybody too. On last week was National Women's Day, and the State Firemen Fire Marshals Association recognized some of the women in our department and had us on their Facebook page and put a spotlight on them, and then also on Amanda. She left. She's on our department also. She's one of our volunteers. She does a really good job. Really eager to learn stuff. So you guys got to get the employee there. Talked a little bit about this last meeting. Next month, we're going to start what's called a monthly stretch. And it's just a drill, a training that we're going to do each month. And we're going to go out into the public. And it's going to be like you guys seen the show Bar Rescue and they do a stress test? It's going to be a stress test. So we'll start at the station, take our trucks out to whatever location we're going to, and we're going to simulate an actual call. And we're just trying to cut the learning curve on some of our new guys and just some of the just learning curve for all of us, us being volunteers. We are not always on that engine all the time. So we're just trying to gain some more experience. I'll get with the city, dispatch and PD when we do that. So then they know it's just a training, and that's what we got going on.
I think the mayor's house would be a good one to.
So mark that down.
Make sure I'm not barbecuing that.
Bring the ladder truck to your house. And then we'll start updating our SOGs, standard operating guidelines. We'll start updating those with the new regime, and we're having our department elections this month. That'll be next Tuesday. We'll get that on the way. So we'll get back to you on you guys on that, on our new guidelines, what direction we're gonna go with. That's all I got. Any questions, anything from me?
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Mario.
Do you want to talk about coffee with you?
Yeah, so
He
I
does.
missed the last.
Well, fortunate for you. So we're having coffee with the chief next Wednesday, so next week, not this coming week. And then on Saturday, we're having coffee with the cop. So them officers be out, so you're more than welcome to come 2 times in a week and have coffee with us. And we'll continue that. The dates will change. That way we can do a Saturday. So it gets me out of bed on a Saturday as well. But so those people that got to be at work at 8, they can't come drink coffee with me. We'll make ourselves available on Saturday morning as well. So perfect.
And that's Wednesday, the 22nd at 8, coffee with chief, and then Saturday, the 25th, coffee with a cop.
Next week, Wednesday and Saturday, if those are the dates.
And both at Flying Pig.
With the Flying Pig.
Perfect.
That's it.
Anybody else got anything? All right.
Do you have anything about the transfer station?
I do not. But as soon as I get it, I will send it.
They haven't supplied anything.
I don't have anything as of right now.
And where does the EMS building stand?
The
ERS building.
The Emergency Response Center. So we are in design phase with the architect engineer firm. So they have met with EMS, police, fire, put together rough outline of design. I know that a rep from Park Hill was in the building to take a look at some demo plans of what needed to be done. So it's still progressing. It's quiet now because they're getting ready to come with, this is how much it will cost in terms of if you go this route, start picking out some stuff. So they're in the background looking at the nitty gritty of, do you want this flooring, that flooring? We haven't seen any of that yet.
Okay, thank you.
Make the motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Thank you all.